All right, we have a trade for everyone. The Falcons have traded up with the Rams.
They moved down.
They got to do something with these 6th-round picks. Apparently, they've gotten the Mr. Irrelevant pick. We do have that Atlanta Falcons pick. That is in. We'll get that for you right now, and it is Russell Gage, the wide receiver out of LSU.
There's very conflicting opinions on Russell Gage. I have him at number 281 overall, number 41 wide receiver. I saw a top 100 grade on Russell Gage, which really surprised me there. Doesn't have the size you want. He's a little thin at 184, 180 in that range. Doesn't have a great speed. He's got good, not great speed. Helps on special teams. That's what this pick is. He is going to be a special teams guy, 17 career tackles, only 26 career receptions.
Wow.
Special teams got him drafted. He's an average to above average athlete. Round 6 here, he's going to be a guy that's not going to compete for a big receiver role.
There you go, Russell Gage going to the Atlanta Falcons at pick number 194.
And he's rolling for the goal line. Touchdown, Falcons! Russell Gage! And there's the magic Atlanta was looking for. On a 3rd and 17. Bryant floating it to the corner of the end zone. It's caught for the touchdown. Gage on the reception, and the Falcons, the opening drive score.
Russell Gage does a really good job of winning right off the release.
Trick set here, and Russell Gage throwing it deep for Ridley, and a touchdown.
So you see him right here, and he's going to come
They line Ryan up
and try to cover Russell Gage, another speedster, and what a great job by him.
They don't get rid of Julio Jones if they don't think Russell Gage can step up. And I'm telling you, from the early returns I am getting from folks who are on the ground in Atlanta, this player has been the breakout performer of Falcons camp.
Ryan gonna get it off to Gage underneath, leaping over for a first down.
That is a
Ryan throws, diving across for the touchdown, Russell Gage.
Russell Gage makes the grab and a hurdle getting over the top of Quandre.
He's that guy that steps up to make some plays, especially now with Julio Jones on the sideline. Really nice route by Russell Gage.
First down and 10, and a throw to Russell Gage, who's doing it all for the Falcons today. Breaks into the clear, and Russell Gage, who's already thrown for a touchdown, runs across the 35.
Making it to the NFL is one thing, but Stan, in order to do that, you need to make sure you never lose that drive that took you this far. Persistent pressure, non-stop action. The physical is vital, but longevity in the league is a direct result of your mental, but most important, your knowledge of the game.
All the vets, Jarvis and all these guys, that's what make them different, because as your years increase, your skill level decrease to an extent, so the knowledge is what's going to keep you, the small detail stuff.
And that's where you got to start seeing it's like, man, this dude really on a different level. This dude, Jarvis really on a different level. Julio really on a different level, than what I'm even explaining.
Right.
He's not just physically beating everybody.
And just think about if they make them guys come back and do all the combine preps and all that over again, run a 40. These won't be the impressive guys.
Right.
And that's why I say the mental part is what's going to keep you constantly elevating every year, because you can only run so fast.
Exactly.
10 years from now, you ain't going to be no 4-4.
And you get it
4-3.
all the time. A guy 4-3, 4-2 doesn't amount out to whatever it is they're doing. It's we're running fast again. That doesn't change.
Right.
What has to happen up here?
Right.
Can you translate down here to up here?
Facts.
In that same amount of time, does this match your legs, your physical ability? Because if it doesn't, no matter how fast you run, this will slow it down.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, that's reactions. There's just being a playmaker. All of that stuff is in every sport at any given time, yes. But, you hear all the time football, especially in the NFL, is a game of inches. And those inches are knowing your gaps, being disciplined on the situation. Knowing the situation is one of the biggest things. And if you don't understand it, you will miss out. There's always 3 or 4 plays that's that really actually could have decided the game.
Right,
and it'd be something real small.
And that's why I think it goes back to the way you prepare. Who thinks about that in the off season?
Exactly. And the thing is, preparation, it builds habits.
Right. Small things are overlooked when you're winning. I use certain colleges, for example, the ones that traditionally win, Like, you don't watch what they do behind the scenes, and nobody care. All they care about is, the dubs. If you winning, it's like, oh yeah, they're winning. But if you really get down into it, so I think the same thing with your position. Me personally, what I think makes you different is being able to, process all of these different things, knowing like this is the formula to being, a pro wideout.
And, film study is huge. Understanding what you're looking at, understanding why and the reason for the film, on what you're watching, that's the next level stuff. Because if you understand it, then you start understanding your own tendencies. Right. You could break down your own tendencies and throw off your opponent, because your own opponent is watching your tendencies, and you know that.
When Russ was drafted to Atlanta, he did the celebration thing, but I think the day after he called me and said, look, man, we got to get to work. We have to get to work. He walked in knowing what he was up against. You had Calvin Ridley, Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, Justin Hardy, and you had a couple more guys that he knew, okay, this is going to be tough to even make the squad. So his focus immediately went to let me shut everything down when I walk in this building. That's what that small focus came from. I think he asked Julio, how many receivers do y'all usually carry? And it had been a tradition for the Falcons to carry 5 wideouts. That year they carried 6. It was because Russ put so much pressure on the staff to say, okay, this guy's valuable. Not only at receiver, but special teams. He was a special teams ace. He changed the way that they went about roster spots. They carried an extra receiver so he could be that 6th guy.
My first game was the first game of the whole NFL season that year on Thursday night. Falcons versus Eagles. And the Eagles were the defending Super Bowl champs. And we played at the Eagles. So I got the full NFL experience first time. And it was everything I could dream of. It was a night game. If you know anything about the Eagles, they have crazy fans. And it was amazing. It was everything I dreamed of from when I sat in the living room and my dad turned on the games and we watched them then. It was all just kind of rushing in on me at once. Like, I'm playing on a big stage right now in the NFL. It's something I always dreamed of. I understood coming into the season that they drafted me because of special teams. So I knew my role when I entered that team as a rookie, and I knew, I'm going to be on special teams and I'm going to dominate here. That was kind of what I set out to do.
And the catch is made by Russell Gage, the first of his NFL career, the rookie out of LSU.
So second year, I think my team, my coaches, they knew my ability at receiver. I displayed it at practice. For sure, a couple times in the game, for the most part at practice. It was definitely a challenge for me to step more into that wide receiver role. I knew I was still going to be playing a lot of special teams. And I like special teams. I loved it, actually. So it's not something I was willing to just hand over anyway. But I definitely wanted to step up my role as a receiver. And starting off, it was more special teams, definitely more receiver than I had ever played compared to last year. I came in, I was more special teams early on in the season. And then halfway through the season, after a couple transactions, a couple trades, I became a starter.
For Gage, and a diving catch by Russell Gage. This is a guy who will get more playing time with Sanu having been traded away.
I think he knew, okay, if I lock this 6th receiver spot down, then the rest is going to come over time, and over time he showed his value, which led to him moving up on the roster. Then, you had the trade of Muhammad. Justin Hardy went and he joined another squad. So Russ just kept gradually moving up the ranks.
31, and that's Russell Gage. Tracy alluded to Russell about how he had simulated Lamar Jackson.
I went from 4 to 5 snaps on offense to 25 to 30 snaps on offense in just one game. I realized I still had a lot of learning to do at the receiver position, and I had guys that helped with that. Matt did a great job of helping with that. I had guys like that mentored me. Muhammad, Julio was huge, and I was able to watch those receiver corps just kind of implement things into my game and it helped me kind of step up.
Russell Gage, and Russell Gage will get the first down into Buccaneer territory.
It's time for him to put all of his work that he's done in the past 3 years on display. So it's been that small detail, knowing that all eyes are on him. All NFL teams know who he is. So now it's that year where it's, okay, I have to be on top of every point of my game, from a mental aspect, physical aspect, just that guy. Then with the trade of Julio, he moved up to the second receiver position. So now it's like, okay, teams are going to be scouting me more. Teams are going to be more paying attention to me. So now I really have to do those small things well.
I'm in the NFL, you know, and my dream is it's not necessarily complete, but there is some fulfillment in there, and I want to take it to another level.
When you speak of perseverance, you know, coming to LSU as a defensive back and being moved over to receiver, then being utilized and to fit the offensive scheme and 6th-round draft pick, loaded receiver room. If you add all of those things up, you see, okay, it took a different type of athlete to overcome those things. So just hearing that story within itself, it shows you, okay, this is where the wake 'em up Russ comes from. He's always been, okay, well, Russ, here's your plate. Very limited. Okay, what you gonna do with it? If you sum it all up, you get the wake 'em up Russ. You get Russ, you're being slept on. You have to earn it. And his whole life, you know, that's what he's known, and I think that's what is pushing him to this point. Okay, I've made it to a receiver 2 position. Do I stop here, or do I want the receiver 1 position?
Especially now that I'm older and I'm able to look back on everything, you know, my reason, my why. Family is just so important to me. Everything I do, from planning things out to my purpose for playing football, my purpose for trying to elevate my game, it's all centered around family. I mean, I know what football has done for me in my life, financially and more. It's put me in a position to help my family in ways that I've always dreamed of. So family has to be the number one thing, the most important thing to me in my life.
Some of the things we tell them is, you're there, it's nice that you're there, but stay focused.
That was our motto from him being from 5 years old up until now. And he motivates himself, he's a hard worker. And that's what we've always instilled in our children. You know, to not give up, to keep going, because there's always something you can learn, something you can do even better.
Russ is resolute in everything that he does. He knows what he wants and he's made up his mind, and you're not going to change it. If he's going to go get the ball, good luck playing defense. Good luck batting that ball away. That ball is Russell's. If Russell sets a goal, he's going to achieve it.
Honestly, I see no ceiling, because I still think Russ he's just scratching the surface. Every year he's coming up with something new, some new goals to strive for. I think his ceiling is unlimited.
Three words to describe Russell Gage: unwavering.
Russ is talented,
Determined.
funny, smart,
committed,
Champion.
Russell Gage is relentless.